This game of Commander is brought to you today by Rafiq of the Mini. Rafiq of the Mini, the exact opposite of Gandhi. Welcome to a game of Commander Usurper. For those of you unfamiliar with Usurper, here is a rundown on the format. Usurper is a 5-player game with a king, a guard, a traitor, and 2 assassins. The king tries to win the game with or without the assistance of the guard. The guard can only win if the king doesn't die. The traitor can only win the game by himself or herself. The assassins win the game the instant the king is dead. All positions are randomly decided at the start of the game and must be kept secret until the end of the game, with the exception of the king, who was revealed at the start. The king this game is Chris, playing my Child of Alara deck. I am playing my Krenko Mob Boss deck. Kyle is playing his Savra Queen of the Bulgari deck. Rob is playing his Rafiq of the Mini deck, and Ronnie is playing his Hazezon deck. The other positions will be revealed at the end of this video. The king always starts the game. Chris plays and sacks Wooded Foothills, paying 1 life and finding Tropical Island. I play Mountain. Kyle plays Overgrown Tomb tapped. Rob plays Forest, Mana Crypt, and Chromatic Lantern. Ronnie plays Forest, Exploration, and Temple Garden. Chris plays Plateau, I play Mountain and Goblin Piledriver. Kyle plays Swamp and Rampant Growth for Forest. Rob takes 3 damage during his upkeep for Mana Crypts. Rob plays Plains and casts Skyshroud Claim, finding and putting Savannah and Tropical Island onto the battlefield. Rob then casts Umazawa's Jitte. Ronnie casts a Skyshroud Claim of his own, finding Stomping Ground and taking 2 damage. Ronnie then casts Secure Tribe Elder. Chris plays Forest and passes. I play Mountain and cast Goblin Warchief. I then attack Chris for 5 with my Goblin Warchief and Goblin Piledriver, dealing the king 5 damage. Kyle plays Bayou and casts Garrick Wildspeaker. Kyle ups Garrick to untap 2 of his lands and then casts Secure Tribe Elder. Rob takes another 3 damage during his upkeep from the crypt. Rob plays Academy Ruins and casts Rafiq and Kasali Pride Mage. Rob then equips Rafiq with Jitte. Ronnie then casts Sylvan Primordial, blowing out my Mountain, Kyle's Garrick, Chris's Forest, and Rob's Academy Ruins. Ronnie gets an Amazon's worth of Forest out of his deck and passes. Chris strips my Mountain and then Life from the Loams it back, as well as 2 other lands from his graveyard. Chris discards at the end of his turn. I play another Mountain, cast Lightning Greaves, equip it to Piledriver, and then again attack Chris for another 5 damage. At the end of my turn, Kyle sacks his Tribe Elder to find a land. Kyle plays a land and casts Harmonize, drawing 3 cards. He then casts Altar of Dementia. Rob casts Temple Garden untaps, taking 2 damage, and casts Swiftfoot Boots and equips it to Rafiq. Rob then casts Finest Hour and attacks Ronnie. Ronnie blocks with Sylvan Primordial. Rob deals first strike damage to the Primordial, adds 2 counters to the Jitte, and then removes the 2 counters to give the Primordial -2, killing it. During his second attack phase, Rob attacks and kills me with Rafiq commander damage. Ronnie plays Plateau and casts Perilous Forays and Hazezon. Chris plays Strip Mine and passes. Kyle casts Pernicious Deed and then activates the enchantment for 3, blowing up Rob's Jitte, Crypt, Boots, and Ronnie's Exploration, but leaving Rafiq alive, which Rob uses to beat Kyle to death with next turn. At the beginning of Ronnie's upkeep with Hazezon's trigger on the stack, Ronnie sacks Hazezon to find a Mountain and put it onto the battlefield. Ronnie then puts 13 Sand Warriors onto the battlefield. Chris uses a sack land, paying 1 life, and puts Taiga onto the battlefield. Rob casts Tempt with Discovery. Ronnie declines to find a land, and Chris opts to get a land. Rob gets Rogue's Passage, Chris gets Scrubland, and Rob gets Vesuva, copying Rogue's Passage. Ronnie casts Greater Good and Elspeth, Knight Errant. Elspeth boosts a warrior, which Ronnie then sacks to Greater Good, drawing 4 cards and discarding 3. Ronnie then casts Shared Animosity. Ronnie then attacks Rob for over 100 damage. Chris opts to keep Rob alive by flashing back Moment's Peace, fogging the battlefield. Chris sacks Polluted Delta, paying 1 life to find Underground Sea and put it onto the battlefield. Chris considers playing Child, but passes the turn instead. Rob then makes Rafiq unblockable and attacks Ronnie with Rafiq twice, killing him. Rob then reveals that he was the guard, sharing the victory between him and Chris.